V.
Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us right here on Morning at NTV. The name is Romeo Busiku and we are veering into a very fast conversation of the day centered around motor third party and why it is important. In this era of traffic jam, it is important for you to protect your car and those next to you. Now, to speak to us about this and more, we have Juliet Igonu, the technical manager for non-life at the Uganda Insurers Association, and she joins me right now in studio. Very good morning, Igonu.
Good morning.
So let's start with the easy stuff. What is motor third party and its relevance to the user?
Thank you very much. In 1989, the government of Uganda enacted a law that requires all motorists to actually have motor third party insurance. The benefit of this law is to protect all parties, here we mean the accident victims, against any bodily injuries or death that they sustain while they're in service of PSV or pedestrian moving on the road, minding about their business. So this is supposed to help them, provide them with a financial compensation that should be able to help them survive or live their day-to-day life even after they have sustained the injuries. Yeah.
And what about the person you've knocked down?
That's the third party. So what this is that a third party is the victim. Who is not directly or didn't contribute in any way to this accident. So the first party is the motorist or the owner of the vehicle. The second party is the insurance company who takes on the risk or the liability that the owner of the vehicle is exposed to as a result of using their vehicle and knocks the victim, who is the third party. So the insurance company will protect the first party against those liabilities.
And the third party?
And the third party is can either be the passenger or the pedestrian
walking on
the road and is accidentally knocked.
But if you have none of that, that means you as the first party, you don't get any compensation, and even the person you knock down won't get any compensation.
Without the motor third party insurance, yes, that's true.
So what is the maximum and the minimum limit, or is it a uniform fee to be paid by all car users?
It's a uniform fee to be compensated because the law stipulated the benefits. The benefit is 1 million per person in any one accident, but the aggregate amount, the maximum beyond which no insurance company can pay is 10 million in a year. So you will get your third party insurance, but it's tied out to one person, 1 million maximum, and then 10 million in the whole year.
10 million in the whole year.
So that
they don't
means,
exceed that.
Yeah, so that means that if you're a motorist and you hit, say, a taxi and you get an accident that everyone is gone, we can only pay up to 10 million. And that means that you'll have exhausted your insurance for the year.
But we're talking about a taxi that has at least 14 people. And we need 14 million for those people.
Yes, but remember, we have 1 million per person, and the maximum for that period of year of insurance is 10 million.
Can you explain to the viewer why it's aggregated like that?
It's a law. It has been stipulated. One of the reforms that we're actually trying to ask government to do is to take care of all those things. Because if you look at 1989 then, those monies were reasonable because they wouldn't anticipate that 14 people or 10 people can exhaust all the 10 million.
And $1 million shillings back then was a lot.
It was a lot. So there are reforms that we're actually asking government to consider.
Are those the only reforms that you need?
For the third party right now, it's mainly the limit of compensation, the benefits, because if someone has died, because that's like the maximum incidents that can happen, you're entitled to 1 million. So if you give someone a 1 million as a compensation, really, they will not be grateful because 1 million is really little.
So that is the compensation. What about the payment? How much do they have to pay as premium?
The payment as premium depends on the type of vehicles because and seating capacity. So what happens is that they range on the number of seating capacity. The minimum of four seating capacity is about 22. No, not 22. It's 68,000 if you include all other taxes. 68,000 a year. So that 68,000 in a year is equivalent to the 10 million maximum.
I see.
Yeah. So if you get one incident and you bust out all your 10 million, that means that you have to reinstate.
So that's a 4-seater. What about a PSV, like a taxi, 14-seater?
A 14-seater is about 150,000 in a year.
So let's interrogate other issues. What is the motor third-party platform?
Thank you very much. The motor third-party platform is a digital interface that was introduced to help in streamlining the transactions, the purchases of the motor third-party insurance. So what this does is that initially we've been hit by a number of tricksters or fraudsters in the network, in the motor third party space. So what happens is that many motorists have found themselves actually purchasing fake stickers. And the hit comes in when you get an accident and the victim is actually asking for a payout. Of course, quickly you run to your insurance company and oops, you're surprised, this sticker is not valid. So that means that you're on your own with the victim.
And who is the, what is the bona fide company that is supposed to issue these stickers?
The insurance company, the licensed insurance company by the regulator. Every licensed insurance company that deals in non-life businesses issues these stickers.
So don't deal with individuals, deal with the company directly.
Deal with the company directly. But although the companies have their agents who operate under them, and they're also licensed by the regulator. So they are the ones that we need to deal with. But what this platform is, how it works is that it is integrated with the URA database. So that means that the unique file here is your registration number, and you can access it using your mobile money account. So it will request you to log in your registration number. So as soon as you do that, it will call for your details from the URA database. So those details will include your name and the premium that is payable. The premiums, unfortunately, fortunately, are predetermined because we then know because we've integrated the system. We know the seating capacity as per the URA database. So it tells you how much is payable. Then you proceed to put in your PIN, your mobile money PIN, and the payment is done. So once the payment is done, it will automatically send to you a payment reference number. And after a few minutes, a payment reference number which you get and go to any licensed agent or any licensed insurance company who will validate the authenticity of the payment, because they also have the app. As soon as that is done, then they'll print for you a sticker and you display on your screen. So there is the system, the platform is intended to eliminate the cash transaction. It's supposed to be cashless transaction.
Let's talk about how it is accessed and used. Give us some dial codes for MTN and Airtel.
MTN and Airtel, for MTN it's *165. So then you go to payments. There's an option 4 which has payments. After that, you get to 5 *165 *5 5 then 1. So the payments, then you go to fees and taxes, and then you get motor third party. Once you get in there, it asks you, it prompts you for your registration number. Then for Airtel, it's *185, the mobile money code. Then you go to 7, which is financial services. Then you go to 6, which is insurance services. Then 1, which is actually the third party. So that third party is the one that will prompt you also for the registration number. As soon as you enter in, it gives you your details. You finalize the transactions with your PIN number, and you're good to go.
So basically, you do not have to move a muscle. You can do it in the confines of your home or workplace.
Sure.
Amazing. Let's talk about the mode of compensation. Yes, the procedure. What is the procedure for one to be compensated?
When an accident occurs, we definitely always say that lie first.
Right.
Then after that, you engage the police, because the law requires that all accidents are reported to police.
Right.
So of course, during that time span, you should be able to notify your insurance company. So once you tell them, it is easy, because then with the platform we have data. So they will just validate whether your vehicle is actually insured with them, and they will tell you to submit a few documentations, and you're good to go.
I started insurance in 2011, but there were so many complaints from my clients. Getting premiums from them was very easy. You come talk to them, you know, you need this motor third party, maybe comprehensive cover, they'll pay it. But then when it comes to compensation, that was the nick. Getting money from the company. Why is it so hard to get money from these companies to compensate the people, the victims?
I think when you compare it with how you get the premiums and then the compensation. Unfortunately, when an accident has happened, there are a number of informations that have to be submitted, because you're aware, if there's any industry that has been hit by fraud, is insurance. So when accident has happened, they have to inspect. Again, the duration of the compensation depends on the extent of the injury or the incident. So if it's a straightforward, and you've submitted your documents, usually it takes about 5 working days for you to actually get compensated. So I don't want to believe that it is really hard. It's just a perception. It's just a perception, because we are still in existence. There are people who have testimonies on how insurance has helped them. So I think it just depends on the extent of the injury and the cooperation the client is able to give as far as documentations are concerned. Because for any payout to be made, there must be supporting documents, because we are audited. So if we ask you for requirement A up to B or up to D, and you avail it, we are good to go. And even if you're not able, there's a way they actually find a way of getting an alternative. But the truth of the matter is they will not pay you without any documentation. So the challenge usually comes in the documentation.
And the investigations
and
that
the
come
investigations
first.
that come in, because it has to be investigated. The accident has happened while we're not there. So and the regulator has licensed service providers who actually do these investigations. The insurance company hands over the mandate to them. They go in, they bring the report and make a recommendation based on their findings. So the challenge is mainly because of the few details that have to be verified.
And the viewer might be looking at the cost, but I want you to help us give variations between motor third party and comprehensive cover for these cars. Yes.
Motor third party protects the third party.
Yes.
That is the victim. But with to the extent that ideally it should also take care of their injury, bodily injury, together with the property damage.
Yes.
But the law that we are riding on excludes property damage. Now, when it comes to comprehensive, comprehensive takes care of all the aspects in the third party, but goes ahead to protect the owner of the vehicle in terms of protecting their own vehicle, and then some policies extend to include the driver at that time, like personal accident that's been, the injuries that could have been sustained, or even death, protecting the driver. So that is where the difference is. For third party, is strictly third party. Anything to do with the third party, you, the owner, you're excluded. But when it comes to comprehensive, it absorbs all the aspects in third party, and then also goes ahead to protect your own vehicle. That's where the main difference is.
So besides the cost, it's better to have motor third party and comprehensive at the same time.
If you have comprehensive, you actually already have third party. You don't have to have both. They all get in. And then the beauty about comprehensive is that the limits are not 1 and 10. You have higher limits to 50, 20, depending on how much you're willing to pay. So it's more convenient to actually have comprehensive.
And does it vary based on the value of the car?
No, it doesn't. It varies based on the use of the car. If you have a private car, the rate is different from a commercial car, because a private car is your own. Commercial is exposure. You have many people who are involved. There are many third-party liabilities that are likely to come, unlike when you are in your private.
When you talk about motor third party, are you only talking about cars? What about the motorists, the border riders, and so forth?
The rider, when you talk about third party, the rider is excluded. Third party takes care of the passenger.
No, third party as in, are we talking about only cars? What about the motorists, like the border people? Do they also need motor third party?
Yes. The law says vehicle is anything that is propelled by mechanical power. So borders are part of vehicles.
Nice.
Tricycles are part of vehicles. Tuk-tuks, as long as they're propelled by mechanical engine power.
All right. Igunu, final words of advice to our motorists in this country. I
want to encourage everyone to, for those who are purchasing insurance, third-party insurance, desist from giving cash. Take advantage of the platform, because it comes with so many benefits. One of it is that you'll be sure that when an accident occurs, you'll be able to get your compensation, because then we are able to get your details from the system. And then also, in case you have any issues that you complaints, concerns, you can call the Uganda Insurance Association through our toll-free number of 0800 10 50 50. We shall be able to help you. Otherwise, we encourage you to use the platform. Thank you. Juliet Igono, the Technical Manager for Non-Life at the Uganda Insurers Association. Many thanks for having made the time to speak to us. Thank you very much for having me. Pleasure. And you're still watching Morning at NTV. Let's take another breather. We'll be right back.